Hi, I am Claire Allegra Taylor, and this summer I took part in the Walkabout Summer Training Intensive. I worked with artistic director Tom Pasculi in school for 1 quarter. I was very lucky to take one of the few spots available in a graduate course as an undergraduate, and I kind of went in blind, not really knowing, not having an immense passion for movement at the time. However, I think kind of through the class and through the process in which we worked, I was really able to find a lot about what I was passionate about and how movement really was something I wanted to pursue, and definitely learning where movement can be used aesthetically in theater. So when I saw that they were offering this intensive, I was like, yeah, I gotta take it. I have to do, I definitely have to do this. I think they do have a very particular aesthetic, and to me it's one of expression and fearlessness and passion and, just the way that bodies move and what they can produce when they're uninhabited. I don't know if we just had an amazing group or what, but the other artists that I was working with were incredible sources of inspiration, and I already feel like I walked out of the program having, 15 new friends, and that's really exciting to be able to come in for a week and just get right to work. Within the first, what did we do first? We did like a pass the clap exercise, and which moved into more of a physical improv. And just within those first 2 hours, we hadn't even said our names yet, and I already felt like I knew the room, and the room knew me, and safe space, safe working environment, all of those things. Starting to create and devise with a new group of people is always really, really exciting, and I got to work with artists in a way that I don't get to do in my day-to-day life, even if it's, going to an audition or being in a class where you're working on a scene or something. It's just not the same level of commitment as it is when you go into a room and you're like, hey, I got this idea, can you be a part of it? And you're like, yeah, great. What do you want to do? And you work it out together, and that's just, to me, that is ultimately the most valuable experience when it comes to training. And yeah. The way in which we worked was creating etudes, which are, I guess I would define as small moments of movement around a particular question. The idea of creating an etude around a question is a particularly challenging way for me to work. I am someone that likes structure and clarity and rules in my art, and working with questions is hard for me. However, very useful. Definitely a useful thing to kind of expand my brain as more of a type A person. I like how Tom introduces questions as things that don't really need to be answered, but it's more about the investigation. So, for example, I was working with a question throughout the week, which is, what is the space between pain and pleasure? And this kind of came out of working with a Trojan Women's script, along with work that I'm developing on my own outside of workshops or classes or anything like that, and kind of taking these ideas and bringing them into the group and proposing them really helped me. And even in moments where I was participating in another person's moment or story or etude or whatever you want to call it, I was still operating under the question of pleasure or pain. What's the threshold? What's the difference? So yes, I really enjoyed the kind of unknowingness of this type of work. Did I ever feel uncomfortable? Yes, of course. I think if you're not feeling uncomfortable, you're not doing something right in the theater. I think that, we don't go to the theater to feel comfortable. We don't go to see plays and people live the best and worst days of their lives in a state of comfortability. I think that if actors do get into a sense of comfort on stage or in their work and their rehearsals, to me personally as an artist, that's not exciting. So did I feel uncomfortable? Yeah. I did things with my voice and with my body that I've never done before. I have screamed and made horrible noises on stage in front of people now. Or, you know, I stood on someone's shoulders this week, and I never thought I would do that. I liked that it was actually an intensive. I mean, it was 5 days. Is that it? Wow. It was only 5 days, but I really do feel like it was, you know, the equivalent of weeks of training, at least the equivalent of any 10-week-long quarter class that I've taken in my conservatory training. As someone who just graduated school, I spent 4 years kind of at the mercy of doing work that other people wanted to create and being a part of that process, and I would never ever trade any of those experiences for anything, but at the same time I didn't quite have the opportunities or the classes or the support to actually be able to endeavor on creating my own work and even necessarily working in the particular aesthetic that I wanted to achieve. Honestly, I feel very confident now. I think that graduating and kind of floating around a little bit, trying to figure out what I actually want to do, what I want my art to look like, is, you know, that had been pretty hard for me, kind of not really knowing where I fit in the Chicago theater scene or what I really actually want to be doing, instead of, oh, what work can I get? Now it's what work can I make? And actually it's given me the confidence to kind of move forward with something that I've been working on in my own time, and just feeling pretty fearless about getting some people together and saying, hey, I got this thing, you want to help me? Yeah. So I had a great time. I worked hard. I felt very fulfilled every day driving home from the intensive and kind of getting into my bed and being like, I did something today. I did something very awesome today. And I will definitely carry this experience with me going forward. You know, being able to create my own work, being able to work with a new group of people in a very short amount of time, in a profound way, not just a collaborative way. Having trust in each other and saying yes, and, you know, just bringing a level of honesty and commitment to your work, I think is the main thing that I gained from the weekend. Or week, rather. Yeah. I don't know. The only thing I have to say is I wish it were longer. I wish it were a month. Anyway, thanks Walkabout for a wonderful intensive. Yeah. Good luck on the show. Okay.